Listen, I don't know who this is for, but stop wrecking your brain over the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. What shoulda, coulda happened would have happened if it was going to happen. If they were going to apologize, they would have done it by now. If people were going to do what they were supposed to do regarding you, they would have done it by now. Stop living in your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. What you see in front of you right now is exactly what it is. It's now time for us to take it as it is and stop looking into the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Stop looking into people's potential and start looking at it for what it is. Look at your situation for what it is. Look at that person for who they are. In the meantime, in between time, honey, until they show you different, you continue to move forward. You continue to pick yourself up. You continue to build yourself up and let everybody else adjust to that. You can no longer live in the past. You can no longer talk about what could have happened. You can no longer talk about what was, because you are now moving into your chapter 2. Chapter 1 is written. Chapter 1 is done. Chapter 1 has been read from A to Z. It's now time for you to move on to chapter 2. What does that look like for you? What does your chapter 2 look like for you? We closing the book on chapter 1. We been there, done that, got a badge for it. What's next? It's time for you to next some people. It's time for you to next that situation. It's time for you to next that job. It's time for you to take your hands out of that pot regarding your family members and hit a next on that. How are you going to show up for you now? The seasons of you spreading yourself thin is over. The seasons of you making excuses for people in their ignorance is over. The seasons of you settling for less is over. The seasons of you pretending that you don't know what it is over. Now it's time for you to build yourself up, elevate, grow, evolve, actually trust what it is you're seeing, believing, feeling. This season right here, sweetheart, we're switching over to our chapter 2. We're closing chapter 1 and we're switching over to chapter 2. What does that look like for you? How do you want this next season to look for you? How do you want this next season to look for you? Just think about that. We're not giving up our energy, our time, our resources. We're not putting our lives into anybody else's hands anymore. Nobody can dictate your happiness. Nobody can tell you what you can and cannot have. Nobody will be able to toy with your emotions. Nobody will be able to come and knock you off your rocker. This season right here is 10 toes down. Period. Period, y'all. I told y'all there's a shift in the atmosphere. We're standing on that. We're not going back to the foolishness. We're not going back to entertaining nonsense. Those days are over. You've outgrown that. You're evolving. You're becoming. And even if you have a weak moment, you don't stay there. That's why I'm telling you, you cannot live in your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I don't know who I'm talking to. It's time for you to actually step into that shift. And again, y'all, I know it don't happen overnight. We're human. We have emotions. We have thoughts. We have feelings. So it's okay for you to feel that. It's okay for you to step into that moment. But please, I'm telling you, do not stay there. Do not stay there. You've lived your life on potential. You've lived your life in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You lived your life hoping that people would change. And unfortunately, sometimes they don't. So you have to make the change. You have to make the adjustment. You have to do what's right for you and yours. The only thing you can control is you. So there's no need to even wallow in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Because if you can revisit it, they'll probably do the same thing the same way again. Some people, they're just who they are. And you have to allow them to be who they are, at least for this season until they grow up. And some people never grow up. Let's keep it 100. Some people never grow up. That's why you cannot hold up your life on a maybe. You cannot hold up your life looking at people's potential. Yes, you encourage them. Yes, you love on them because we're chosen ones. That's what happens. We have the heart to do that. But if they're not showing any effort, if they're not putting in any commitment, if they're constantly going back to the old toxic ways, then you have to make a decision for you. And that is turning to chapter 2. What's next? How do you want your next to look? How are you going to rewrite your story? How are you going to rewrite that story? I told y'all, you are the hero of your story. Nobody's coming to save you. And I don't say that in a harsh way. I say that so that you can be motivated. You can be encouraged. You can turn up just a little bit. You can know that this battle right here is not yours. It's not yours. Yes, you co-create, but when it's all said and done and you giving all that you can give, there's nothing left for you to give. Rest, sweetheart. Stop showing up to people, places, and things that do not deserve or appreciate you. Rest. No matter what you do now, some people are committed to misunderstanding you. They're committed to their toxicity. They're committed to not growing. But yet they will look at you and make it seem like you doing wrong. You said wrong. You treated them some kind of way because you're deciding that you no longer want to put up with foolishness. You're deciding you no longer want to settle. You're deciding, you know what, I'm going to close this chapter and move on to my next. Long gone are the days for you wallowing in your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Again, I don't know who I'm talking to, but y'all already know I said the atmosphere has switched, but I will always go back for the one. I will always tap in and tune in to this negative energy because that's what it feels like. The people that's pulling on you, they're full of negativity. The people that's drawing you back in, the people that's weighing you down. They don't want to do the work, but they do just enough to stay in your energy. What are you going to do about that, though? We've given everybody else power and authority and time and opportunity to get it right concerning you. What are you going to do right now? How are you going to show up for you? It's time for your chapter 2. It's time for your next. It's time for you to show up in that new version. It's time for you to go all in about you. About you. About you. Y'all, this does not have to be romantic. It can be concerning your family. It can be concerning your job. Anything. Anything that's weighing you down in this season. Anything that's hindering you in this season. Anything that you know you need to drop off, leave, even if it's temporary. What are you going to do to better your life? To elevate, to grow, to become, to release the weight, the burden. Coming out of that shoulda, coulda, woulda is done. What was done is done. What is said is said. Now you have the opportunity to rewrite it, to do it again. Maybe not in the same manner, but you've learned now. You can do it better. You can do it bigger this time. I'm talking to somebody. After this video right here, wipe off the dust. Let the haters talk. Let the spectators watch. Let the people that do what they do what they do. And you continue to do what you do. You're always going to ruffle somebody's feathers. You're always going to step on somebody's toes, no matter how light you walk. No matter how light you walk, no matter how you shrink, no matter how you try to move around and make everybody else feel comfortable. Some people just won't see it. Some people just won't get it. So therefore, you cannot linger in that shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because if you can replay it, it will play out the same way, because it's not about you. It's about them. It's about the person. It's about the organization. It's about the family member. It's about whoever. It has nothing to do with you. It's time for your chapter 2, sweetheart. It's time for you to turn that page. It's time for you to move on to your next. And decide. You have to decide what that looks like for you. What does your happiness look like for you? No more shoulda, coulda, wouldas, y'all. That's over. No more living in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. That's over. If there's something you want to do right now, do it. If there's something you should be doing right now, do it. And anybody that's connected to you, they have to show up in that same kind of energy. They have to. They have to. I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for your PayPals, your Cash Apps, your super thanks, your thumbs up, your love, your support. Continuing to show up every time that I show up. Please know I appreciate you all so much. Y'all, I'm still here. I'm still rocking. We still vibing. We're still one. We're still going to continue to show up, putting our foot on the enemy's neck, and we're not letting up. Those of you that are new to the channel, that's what we're all about. Welcome y'all to the family. If you are new, over here is all gas, no brakes. We're putting our foot on the enemy's neck, and we're not letting up at all. Coming up out of the people, places, and things that has had us in bondage for so long. That's what this channel is about, and being unapologetic about it. Period. Period. So until next time, y'all be easy. Peace.